So I have a Lechuza story time that actually happened to my uncle. If this is the type of content that you're into, feel free to follow me along. I post practically every day, for the most part. So my uncle grew up on a farm in a very small town located in Colombia. I'll put the name right here. He lived in the outskirts of the town, but says that literally in the middle of it, there was a town that was known for lechuzas. They called it the town of witches. A lot of times he would have to travel to this town to get supplies or to sell off whatever he had made in the farm. On this day, just like he had done 100 times before, he traveled to the town to get some supplies. On his way back, he realized that it was already getting pretty dark. Now, around this time, the only way to get around was by horse because there was no roads that led to his house. As he's riding along, he starts to hear whistling. If you know anything about lechuzas, that is going to be the way that they're going to try to get your attention. He already knew what he was dealing with because, again, he had been to his town 100 times. So he at first tried to ignore it. He knows all the prayers that you can pray in order to get these things to drop. So he started to pray those in his head while holding on to a silver jagger that he always carried in his pocket. Because, again, if you know anything about lechuzas, pure silver is literally what's going to get them to back off. That's their kryptonite or whatever. At one point, he hears the whistling coming from a bunch of different directions, and he decides to stop and get off his horse. As he gets off his horse, he looks over and sees this giant bird just appear out of nowhere and stand in front of him. He then starts to recite those prayers out loud, grabs that silver jagger and slams it down on the ground. The minute he does this, the lechuza falls to her knees. He then walks over and starts taking the feathers of the top of her head. The minute he starts to do this, she starts to scream, telling him to leave her alone, that she won't mess with him anymore, to just let her go, let her go, let her go. He tells her, no, I'm not gonna let you go because the whole way home, you have been following me. Tomorrow, I'll know exactly who you are. So he literally took all the feathers off her head and then let her go. The next day when he went back to the town, the town of witches, he went searching around. It was a small town, it wasn't a big town. He came across a woman that was wearing a wrap around her head. He took it off and she was completely bald. He was like, now I know exactly who it was. It was you. Apparently she had a crush on my uncle, which is why she went after him and was following him and taunted him. She was trying to get his attention. I'm not sure why she thought that would work, but that was her reasoning as to why she followed him and why she did all that. But that was the last time she ever messed with him. Unfortunately, that was not the last time he ever encountered another lechuza. So if you guys want to hear more of those stories, apparently my mom says she has a ton of them. She's been holding out.